The Undercountry Music News is an excerpt of the weekly internet broadcast Undercountry Music, which features music from great country artists you won't hear on mainstream radio, as well as a roundup of the most interesting country music news of the week without all the fluff. This program you are listening to right now contains only the news portion of the show. To listen and subscribe to the full weekly episode containing the music and interviews, please visit undercountrymusic.com or simply subscribe to the Undercountry Music Podcast on iTunes. Let's get into it. You know what's coming. It's the Undercountry Music News! And I can feel the news tightening around my neck this week. The Undercountry Music News. For those of you who don't know, why, yes, it is country music news, but it's so. You see, anybody could just sit here and bring you the country music news, but no, I bring you the news about country music news. Now let me explain. Every week, I go on to Google, and I type in the search term country music news. And whatever websites show up on the front page of search results for Google, I report on them. I go on there and I see how they're doing. Are they doing their duties? Are they worthy of being on the front page of Google for country music news? Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. When they are, I pick out the plum stories. I'm going to tie this all into plum tart here, okay? I pick out the plums. I stick in my thumbs and I pull out the plums. And I say, oh, what a good boy am I. But if I go on one of these websites and they have nothing but cheeseball fluff garbage like where did Taylor Swift get her cheerleader outfit for Shake It Off from, which is wrong on so many levels, I call them on it. I tell them they're not doing their jobs, say it's BS, and I award them with the dreaded Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week. Something like that. Are you ready to play a game?
Would you like to play thermonuclear war?
Anyway, let's get into it. Over at CMT this week, Kacey Musgraves is gearing up to get with her co-writers and work on the follow-up to her landmark album, Same Trailer, Different Park. She is planning to disappear into the middle of Texas, get her team's heads cleared, and make it all about the songs. Good for her. I hope she knocks it right out of the park again. She's an interesting lady there, that Kacey Musgraves. Liking her a lot. That's what you're into. And spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! The Americana Music Awards are in the can. They done. They part of history, and they're going to get aired on what is it, NPR? They're going to be webcast on NPR on Wednesday this week. What is that? The 24th, I think it is, of September. Anyway, I'm going to run you down the list of the big winners right here. Jason Isbell is the big sweeper because he took home 3 top awards. He got Artist of the Year, Album of the Year Southeastern, and Song of the Year for his song Cover Me Up. Now, the rest of the main categories here, Duo or Group of the Year goes to Milk Carton Kids. Emerging Artist of the Year goes to Sturgill Simpson. Instrumentalist of the Year goes to Buddy Miller. Lifetime Achievement for Songwriting, Loretta Lynn. Lifetime Achievement for Instrumentalist, Flaco Jimenez. Lifetime Achievement for Performance, Taj Mahal. President's Award, Jimmy Rogers. And finally, the Spirit of Americana Award, Free Speech and Music, Jackson Brown. Jackson Brown, wow. She's gonna be somebody's only light, gonna shine tonight. You know what movie? That's from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, when Phoebe Cates is getting down in a dugout in a park with a guy twice her age. Oh, I miss the 80s. Moving along. Taste of Country. Now, apparently, I may have a bit of crow and humble pie to eat here for a story that they're blabbing about over at Taste of Country. A few episodes ago, I poo-pooed. That's right, I poo-pooed Ben Folds. And also Keith Urban for jumping on this bandwagon as well, grandstanding about preserving Music Row from developers after Ben Folds threw a wine and cheese party to try and save historic RCA Studio A, claiming a claim to which I claimed was silly, because he was claiming a developer was planning to demolish it. Well, before the party could happen, the developer released a statement swearing on a stack of Bibles that they had no plans to demolish Studio A and never had any, which made Ben Folds look a little silly at his party. I also took a few shots at him for being a dipstick and saying, well, you know, Mr. Folds, you got plenty of money. If you're that worried about it, buy the damn building. Well, it turns out now that the building is in the hands of this developer, now they own it, the developer has revealed that they were full of it and they actually do plan to demolish it. Unless a coalition can be put together in a bid to purchase the building from them by the end of this month, September 2014, as in like a week. Either way, the average person is never going to see Studio A unless they go on some special tour or something. I mean, there's nothing on Music Row worth seeing and enjoying. It's like two streets of live workspace. It just looks like offices from the outside, and then there's like a billboard, you know, one or two billboards, and that's about it. Most interesting thing is Ray Stevens Studios with the camels on the front. You know, Ray Stevens Music or something like that, you know, because the camel's about Ahab the Arab. You know, and not to mention the crap that is churned out from Music Row makes me want to bulldoze the whole damn thing. I'm damn sure not, you know, Tractors, Trucks, and Beer songs doesn't exactly inspire me to want to save your ass, Music Row. All right. Moving along to Country Weekly. They get the Undercountry Music Wet Belch of the Week. They're Country Belchly this week, because they got nothing. You know what? I went over a whole month at one point without belching for anyone. But I gotta tell you, it feels good to be back on the Burpin' Wagon. The Burpin', that sounds German, doesn't it? Burpin' Wagon. Get into the Burpin' Wagon. Yeah. All right. Enough picking on Country Weekly here. Over at GAC, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is being honored by Mayfield Farm in Athens, Tennessee, with a special corn maze. Corn maze, you say? I call it corn, you call it maze. And I just saw the movie The Maze. Wonder where this is going. Anyway, Mayfield Farm in Athens, Tennessee is honoring Dolly Parton's Imagination Library with a special corn maze dedicated to the philanthropic effort of Miss Parton's. Now, you want to know what this thing is? Okay. My family participates in this, and well, we're on the receiving end, actually. My kid gets a book every month through this program, and it's awesome. And, you know, you don't have to be poverty-stricken to take advantage of it. They deliver books to children around the world every month to encourage reading and imagination up to the age of 5. I guess once you hit age 5, they don't care if you read or imagine. No, it's just they got to cut it off somewhere, obviously. I mean, it's a lot of books. And we only found out about it last year when our kid was 4. So we only got 1 year of books, but still very grateful. How awesome. Could have been getting books the whole life. So if you've got a kid under the age of 5, go sign up for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library and get a free book delivered to you every month. What do you think about that? See, look what you get when you tune in here to Undercountry Music and the Undercountry Music News. Now that's the epitome of news you can use, right? All right, come on. Over at theboot.com. They're thebelch.com. We got a double wet belch of the week this week because theboot.com has got the boot from me. Over at the 615, Zac Brown, who's been operating under his own label for the past year or so, has partnered with John Varvatos Records, Republic, and also Big Machine. Now, the story doesn't really state who's going to be doing what, which in my opinion is a huge oversight in the writing of this article, which claims that this announcement was revealed exclusively to Billboard. And Billboard is where the 615 is located. They're a subsection of Billboard.com. So apparently they had the scoop. They apparently just did not sift and scoop properly. Little something there. You people with cats will understand that analogy. Yeah, smells like that. Country Standard Time. New Orleans-based country soul band, the Deslondes, have signed with New West Records. They are currently on the road with Old Crow Medicine Show through early October and plan to have their new album completed by early 2015. Can you believe we're edging up on 2015? Wow, it seems like just yesterday the millennium happened and I was dropping my pants and running drunk in the street. Also over at Country Standard Time, the Lonesome River Band will also release its first original studio album in 4 years, entitled Turn on a Dime. It's going to come out October 14th on Mountain Home Music Company. And this band is led by 5-time international bluegrass Music Association, the IBMA. By the way, there's stuff you can drink for that. Banjo Player of the Year, Sammy Shalor. Well, that's impressive. Lottie frickin' da. I bet it's music that you can listen to if you live in a van down by the river. Okay, nobody got that. A couple of you got that. Hey, all right, good. I don't feel so alone out here on this branch now. All right, Nashville Gab. I usually stick it to Nashville Gab almost every week. They had a couple interesting things over there this week, though, so they do not get the wet belch. They got a story over there, but only one story really jumped out at me and was worth my bringing to you, I felt. And that is that Tim McGraw is reportedly considering... Now how's that for for definition for you? Reportedly considering. It means it could be something, could be nothing. Could just be filling up space. But anyway, Tim McGraw is reportedly considering a cable television miniseries role alongside George Clooney, where Tim McGraw will play, wait for it, a rocket scientist. No, I cannot make this stuff up, because this has been your Undercountry Music News. Thank you for listening to the Undercountry Music News. The Undercountry Music News is just a small excerpt of the weekly, hour-long internet broadcast Undercountry Music, where I, Neil Smith, not only round up the week in country music news and put my own spin on it, but I also play music and have great interviews by lesser-known original country acts, the kind that you won't hear on mainstream country radio. If you're thirsting for that, get on over to undercountrymusic.com, where you can listen and subscribe. You can also subscribe via iTunes to Undercountry Music. Thanks so much. Stay under, stay country.